You already read the title, so I'm not going to bore you with an intro, but this is everything that I use as a small YouTuber and my wish list. I do want to preface this video by saying that I have invested in the things that I currently use. I have required some of these things as time has gone on because, for instance, I have been using the same laptop since I went to college in 2012. This right here is my MacBook Pro 15-inch from 2012, and she served me really well for quite some time, but it did get to a point where she would not update her software any further, and I didn't even know that there were new releases of things because apparently this computer was too old to have any of the new stuff that Apple was releasing. So like I said, she served me well, but I couldn't update iMovie, I couldn't download Final Cut Pro, I couldn't do a lot of things because those needed updates, but they would only run on the newest version of Apple software. So I was in a bit of a bind, but it was getting to the point where I needed a new laptop altogether. So I researched and picked out a computer that I wanted, not one that I could afford. So at the time when I decided that I did in fact want to purchase a new computer, I already knew that I wanted a MacBook, and so I started tinkering with all of the settings and specs on Apple's website. This way I could prepare myself for how much money I needed to save to buy the laptop that I wanted. I had taken care of my computer for 12 years. I had used my computer for 12 years. Therefore, I justified the fact that I could splurge and buy myself a new computer because I took care of my other one so well. So I guess this is going to be the first item that I go through regarding the equipment that I use as a small YouTuber. Everything that I talk about today, I am going to have linked in my Amazon storefront, and I will have the links down below. So if you are interested in any of the products that I do talk about, they will be linked. This way you can find them. And without further ado, let's get into all of the products and equipment that I personally use as a small YouTuber to create my YouTube videos. I have a brand new MacBook Pro, and it is fully loaded, and I already knew that I wanted Final Cut Pro, so I worked that into the price of the laptop for when I was saving to purchase this laptop. So I purchased this laptop and it already has Final Cut Pro on it. That is the software that I personally use to edit my videos, and I edit my videos on this beautiful MacBook Pro. The next piece of equipment that we are going to cover is going to be my camera. So the camera that I'm using right now that is filming what you are currently seeing, I will show you in just a moment, but because I'm using it, I'm gonna go over another camera that I have that I do also use occasionally. I have a Canon EOS 70D, and I primarily use this for pictures, but it does also take video. I did use this to make videos a few years ago, but it is very hard to make videos with this camera, mainly because the autofocus works really well, but it is, I don't know if you could hear that. So the autofocus works really well, but the thing is, it is so loud. When you are shooting something and it is autofocusing, let's just say I were filming this video with this camera. If the autofocus is on to make sure the entire clip is going to be clear, it would be. But you would also hear it clicking and rotating the entire time, even with an external mic. So currently I use this camera for anything that is going to have audio over the clip. This is good for B-roll. I have actually brought this into my town, and I filmed a bunch of stuff on my tripod with this because the quality is really nice. I feel like it's very romantic. I think it's a little sharper or like more cinematic than what this camera does. So for clips that I know I want something to that effect, I will use this camera. But again, that's the only thing I use this for, and I only use it because I had it previously. I purchased this camera in 2020. I already had it, so I will use it occasionally. But this camera is not something I would recommend to purchase to film YouTube videos. If it's something you already have, great. If you want to start taking photos, excellent. But this is not necessary. This is just, again, something I personally use because I already own it. We are now actually recording on the Canon EOS 70D, the big one that I just showed you, and I am going to move in this way. You could probably already hear it, so you can hear it trying to autofocus. Did you hear that? You probably did. Anyway, so this is the camera that I use for all of my videos and all of my footage. I absolutely love it. It is the Canon EOS M50 Mark II. So I found this actually through a creator that I follow. I loved how her videos came out, and I put research into a bunch of other cameras, and I thought this one was good for me. So again, I saved for it, and then I purchased it because I knew it was the camera I wanted to use. So every camera is going to have an internal mic, but to have better audio, to make your video better, you do want to have an external mic, which will give you crisper, clearer audio. So I don't know if you can tell, but I'm assuming you can probably tell from the last clip to this clip that the audio is different. And that is because this is not plugged in. This is the microphone that I use, and honestly, I keep the wind guard on it at all times because it does help with the audio clarity, and I personally don't care if people know that I'm filming myself. This is not going to be the make it or break it for people to know that I'm filming. The camera, the tripod, I might as well have good audio. This is a microphone by Movo. And I personally really enjoy the quality of the audio that it gives my videos. I am going to plug it right back in though. This is the quality of the audio with the mic plugged back in. The beauty of this mic is that it can be plugged into anything, so I used it for this, and I also used it in the Canon 70D camera as well. The last thing that I personally film with is my iPhone. I have the iPhone 14 Pro, and the only thing that I really use this for is if I'm somewhere where I can't really take this camera. Recently, Paige and I went to Typhoon Lagoon and we did the H2O glow night. So much fun, by the way, not sponsored. If you ever have the chance to go, do it. It's just fun. I did want to record some stuff, so I did bring this camera and I recorded what I could, but I did want to record actually being on some of the rides. I wanted to bring you with me for what we were actually doing, not just tell you about it. So I did in fact bring my phone on the rides, and I recorded this way, and I simply airdropped the footage from my phone to my Mac, edited it, and included it in the video that I had posted. That is something I also really enjoy about the Apple ecosystem, is that everything is so easily cohesive. Everything works really well together, and I'm an Apple girl. Sorry. Speaking of Apple products, we have my iPad. Now again, this is not something you need to have, but it does enhance videos if you already have one. So if you already have an iPad, that's great. If you don't have an iPad, not the end of the world. I made so many videos without my iPad, and I only purchased this because it was something I did want over the years, and I decided that I was going to save for it and I was going to purchase it. Paige is my wife. So Paige and I started a mobile bar business, and we did need iPads for some things. So technically this was a business purchase, but since I have it, I use it whenever I need it. In addition to the iPad, I do have the Apple Pencil Pro. So I have my iPad, I have my Apple Pencil, and what I use this for my videos is pretty much just any sort of graphics that I want to have pop up on the screen. Like I said previously, it enhances the video. So instead of just putting text up on the screen, I can personalize it a little bit more and have my handwriting, or I can draw a picture, little animations, something to give the video more visual and a little bit more personality, as opposed to stock footage or graphics or standard text that you would find within whatever editing platform that you use. I did say before that I had a tripod for my other camera, and the keyword is had. I had a tripod and I did really like it, but it was cheap. The tripod has since broken, and I have not replaced it because I do want to get a good quality tripod. I don't want to keep repurchasing, spending $20 to $50 on something continuously. So the tripod is not something you absolutely need. I think it's been probably 6 months since I have made a video where I needed that tripod because I currently have another tripod. We have a little bit of an angle change because I took my tripod off of the camera and my camera is now sitting on my windowsill propped up with my phone. And you can pretty much use anything as a tripod, and a lot of creators do. But this is the tripod that I use. I use this literally all the time because it does give my camera stabilization, and I'm able to adjust the angle with this. And it's really small, it's really compact, and it is the perfect size if you want to film in public and you want to film yourself. When you have it out at arm's length with this camera specifically, it's perfect. And like I said, it just gives you that little bit of stabilization that you need and security that your camera's not gonna go anywhere, because I have cats at my house, and if I were to just prop my camera up on something that wasn't secure, one of them would definitely knock it over. We are back up on the tripod, and we have gone over all of the items that I use to shoot my content. I did go over my computer and the editing software that I use to edit, but there are other tools that I personally use in the editing process of creating a YouTube video. One of the most important things that you definitely want to have is an external hard drive. So I keep all of my footage on this external hard drive, and I edit on this external hard drive. Editing on an external hard drive is super beneficial, and it doesn't take up a lot of space on your physical computer. I don't do a lot of crazy editing because I have heard some people say that it can lag if you're using an external hard drive, but I'm not creating movies. I'm not doing stuff like that. I'm simply making vlogs. I document things that I do in my life. I will occasionally go out and shoot like a real estate video, and I have found that editing on the external hard drive is super beneficial for me. This is the external hard drive that I have. I have a 5 terabyte one, and it is so much storage, and I am very happy that I did get a 5 terabyte external hard drive. Now, before I purchased my new computer, I didn't have a way to put anything from an SD card onto my computer or onto an external hard drive because my computer couldn't handle it. So I have collected a number of SD cards, and I actually have more SD cards than this. But yeah, I have collected a number of SD cards, and of course I want to keep anything that I purchase safe. So I got an SD card holder. I really like it. It was fairly inexpensive. I think this was $10 or less than $10. And it's rubber, and it's super easy to pop them in and out. Keeps everything organized, keeps my investments safe, and we love that. One of the most important parts of the editing process is the audio. And if your audio is not good, there's a huge chance that people will not bother trying to watch your video because they can't. While you're editing your video, you want to make sure that the sound is pretty uniform. And to do that, you really need to have headphones on. I know that the big thing for years now has been to have Bluetooth headphones, but I purchased these Beats Studio Pros, I think in like 2014. So I have still got a cable, and I have found that it's pretty hard to find new headphones that allow you to plug in a wire, because even though Bluetooth is really good, it is not good for editing because it will still be slightly off, and you do not want to have poorly timed audio while you're editing. So this is where an old school cable cord, again, super beneficial, and I'm so glad I never got rid of these, because now this is one less thing that I had to worry about purchasing when I decided that I did want to start editing and taking YouTube seriously. The only thing I have done to these headphones is remove the foam pieces right here because the original ones were disintegrating. So I just went on Amazon, purchased new ones, and replaced them. And these headphones are good as new. I cannot believe that there is one thing that I did forget to show you, and that is my ring light. So I have been been using the ring light the entire time I have been filming. My apartment is not situated in a great space with natural light, so I do need a little bit of help. And so this is what the frame looks like with my ring light on, and this is what everything looks like without my ring light currently. This ring light does have a few different settings. So it is currently on like the natural light, so it's a little bit more yellow, and this one I think is like a mix between like the blue light and the yellow light. Yes, and this is gonna be like your blue white light, and I really enjoy the natural light and the way it looks in the frame. So this is what my ring light looks like. It's really small, like this is my hand. You can't really see it too well, but this is what we're working with. And it does extend to be very tall. I'm 5'7", and it pretty much is, I think, at my height, or honestly, it might be taller. So that's all of the equipment that I personally use to create my YouTube videos as a small YouTuber. Again, everything will be linked in my Amazon storefront, and I will have all of those links right down below for you, just in case you do want to check out any of the products. I know that when I had been looking online for a lot of things that I had seen other creators use, it would have been so helpful to have everything all in one spot. So that is what I did for you guys, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know if you do have any questions or what other kinds of videos you would like to see relating to being a small YouTuber. Check out either of these two videos to see how I use all of my equipment and how my videos turn out, and I will see you in the next one.